And I want to ask you guys, where does Spo rank right now without knowing that this Miami Heat team's going to make it to the finals among literally the best basketball coaches to ever live? First off, we've got Greg Popovich.
Hmm. For my money, I've always thought Greg Popovich is the goat of coaches.
Hmm. I, I wouldn't put Spo, obviously. I wouldn't say top three, but I would. I think he's catapulting himself into that top seven, top five frame if he's not there already. I mean,
Hmm.
you think of guys like Pop, who is clear cut. I'd say the Bill Belichick or of the NBA.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I go with him at number one. And I think Spo is definitely climbing the ranks, and since LeBron leaves, he's just built a winning culture, even
Yeah.
without him.
Yeah,
I,
and I want to list off the top coaches of all time
uh,
so we can
yep.
see just where he ranks. Number 2, Phil Jackson.
Hmm.
Uh, Not yet. Phil's ahead of him.
Number 3, you have to give respect to a Celtics all-timer, Red Auerbach.
No.
A lot of rings.
A lot of rings. Talk about rings. Full 5 fingers. Number 4, Pat Riley.
No.
Nope.
Pat's ahead of him. Yeah.
I'm doing a quick Google search to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. And I probably am going to. So bear with me. Number 5, there's a couple of different guys I can go with here. Chuck Daly,
Yep.
Larry Brown, outside
Yeah.
of 2004, of course. So you know what? I will go Chuck Daly, number 5.
How many rings Chuck Daly got?
He's got 2 with Detroit.
So monumental feats too.
That's so he's got the same as Spo. I think Spo's got how many finals appearances?
Well,
Spo's got
suppose
6 finals appearances? 5? 5.
got
5.
5. He's 2 and
And
3
then
in the
Daly's got 3 or 4?
3 Eastern Conference. He went to the finals in 3 straight years.
Oh yeah.
88, 89, and 90. He won the last 2 years of that run.
I would probably put Daly ahead of him right now. But that's a pretty close call, to be honest with you. I know that
Yeah,
might sound sacrilegious, but I would put Daly ahead of him right now. Yeah.
I go Daly for the simple fact of who he was going up against to get to those finals. It's clearly knocking out Jordan almost all those times. So I think that has to count for something.
Yeah.
I agree. I would have Chuck Daly ahead of him, but if Spoelstra goes to the finals this year, I'm going to probably put him right there. All right, so the next name I have, Justin, is a Knicks all-timer, Fred Holzman, 3 NBA Finals appearances, 2 championships in 1970, 1973. He coached for, I think, was 21 seasons? No, it was 18. And he was a one-time coach of the year, and he was ranked one of the top 10 coaches in NBA history back in 97.
And bringing the Knicks their only trips.
What do you think?
I'm sorry. I don't know why that made me laugh so much.
I take Spo.
That tickled me a lot.
I take Spo.
Yeah, I'll give it to Spo. I'm not that familiar with
Different game back then. That's why.
Agreed. And the last name I'll give to you guys is Lenny Wilkins, who coached for 1921. He coached for almost 35 years, up until 2005. He won a championship back in 79 with the Supersonics. Fun fact, that's the last team out of not Texas or California to win a championship out of the Western Conference. Learned that yesterday. He went to back-to-back finals with the Supersonics back in 78 and 79. I don't know how many coach of the years he got off the top of my head. He has only one coach of the year back in 1994.
Quick question, because I'm blanking on this right now, and I might sound so. Was Red? He coached the Bird Celtics, or was that Russell?
That was Red Auerbach.
He coached the Bird Celtics, right?
No, he didn't coach. That was eventually
who's that?
Tom Heinsohn. They had a multitude of different coaches, but
Okay.
Red Auerbach was the executive in those years because after 1969, he stepped down and Bill Russell became a player's coach for a couple of seasons.
Yes.
He was eventually replaced by a couple of guys, Nelson, Tom Heinsohn, and Jones. I think it was Casey. It was Casey Jones.
Gotcha. But yeah, Spo is. I mean, you're right. Listen, if he goes to the finals, Definitely the conversation to be had is probably, you know, passing Chuck Daly. It's going to be very hard for him to pass Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, and Pop. Those are the three guys that I think are kind of cemented. That's going to be hard to pass. But listen, Spo is climbing the ranks. He is earning a lot of respect, especially now. Now you can't say, you know, it was just LeBron and Wade. Like, no, it wasn't. This guy is a freaking film rat. All right. He is in there like swimwear. And he started from the bottom, like I said. Now he here, video coordinator. Was possibly going to get fired too, I think, when the Heat got like I forget what it was, either new management or something like that. And he rose to the occasion.
LeBron
And then,
didn't want him.
oh no, I was talking about when he first got hired back in the 90s, I think it was for that. But yes, you're right there too. Braun did not want him early. He was like, I want Pat Riley to come back down, and Pat stood pat and said, no, this is the guy. And Pat Riley was right.
You gotta give Pat Riley some credit, bro, because I mean, damn. Erik Spoelstra might be a top 5 coach of all time that he bred out of a video coordinator job. By the way, he was a great college player back on the West Coast at Portland. I might be wrong there. Back in the late 80s. Erik Spoelstra to me is the best coach, and it's not even close since Greg Popovich. You look at the history of the NBA. He had Auerbach in the 50s and 60s. The 1970s, the league was definitely, you know, a weird state, but that was probably Lenny Wilkins into the 80s. And then the 90s was Phil Jackson. The 2000s was Greg Popovich. The first half of the 2010s was Greg. The second half and the 2020s, I think, are going to be dominated by Erik Spoelstra as the cream of the crop. Even at this, look, the Miami Heat have a superstar in Jimmy Butler that we give all the credit to, but I think just stylistically, there's no one that gets more of his role players. There's not a better scheme. There's not a better culture. His guys are always prepared and confident. And that to me is a sign of coaching, because if your guys aren't always confident, especially when they're missing shots, that is a sign that the leadership may not be in place to get the most out of their skill set. Great example of that is Max Strus. Played like shit all year long. In the playoffs, he's making himself a boatload of money. As you talked about before, 13 points in the second quarter, in the third quarter. Kyle Lowry. And what do you say to Kyle Lowry to get him to play like this again? Because Kyle Lowry in the regular season was constantly hurt, not really a guy that we expected to be a big-time difference maker in the playoffs. And what do you know? Right now for the Miami Heat, he's been the best sixth man in the postseason. Almost like I tried to tell Knicks fans that last round, but they didn't want to hear it.
I'm still trying to figure out
what happened.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out.
He ran so many circles around Tom Thibodeau. You got dizzy, man.
You know what? I'm not going to go that far, but that's for another day.
I agree.
Yeah.
The answer was that you guys are playing like 3-on-5 offensively.
Yeah, that's more like it.